So, the previous presentations were focused on the use of Earth Ranger. Now, I will be presenting the Lawin Forest and Biodiversity Protection System through the utilization of SMART. So, as an overview, because of persistent forest protection challenges in the Philippines such as deforestation, land conversion, and other human-induced pressures, the DNR, in partnership with the United States Agency for International Development, Agency for International Development has developed and adopted the Lawin Forest and Biodiversity Protection System as part of the National Forest Protection Strategy pursuant to DAO 2018-21. So, what is Lawin? Lawin is a modernized system that integrates forest, biodiversity, and threats monitoring, implementation of interventions to address threats, and monitoring the response of the forest ecosystem management interventions. So the system uses a smartphone application and SMART, or the Special Monitoring and Reporting Tool, as an open source software for data processing with GIS interface in data collection and analysis. So, Lawin uses the SMART application suite of tools, including the SMART Connect, the SMART Desktop, and the SMART Mobile. So, the Lawin follows an adaptive and cyclical framework for forest protection to achieve the target conservation goals. So, at its core, we have the forest conservation planning, which identifies the current forest conditions, sets the conservation targets, and defines the desired ecological conditions of our forest, which is updated every 5 years on the Forest Conservation Area Plan. So, next is the patrol planning, which sets us the guide in ensuring patrols are strategically conducted in high-risk and high-value areas. So, our patrollers are submitting a quarterly patrol plan in the office. So, this is set as the guide as for their accomplished targets every month. So, next is the purposive patrolling, which maintains the regular field presence to gather observations on threats, forest conditions, and biodiversity. So, during patrols, immediate response actions are undertaken following enforcement protocols to address the threats observed. There are 16 threats identified in the Lawin. So, next is in the framework is the data management, wherein transforming our observations into actionable information for our decision makers by identifying trends, hotspots, and recurring threats in the forest land. So overall, this framework sets us a guide for long-term response strategies that are aligned with patrol data and conservation targets such as strengthened enforcement and interventions. So overall, these components create a continuous adaptive management loop where planning directs patrols generate data informs us with decisions, and decisions shape future actions, ensuring that our forest protection remains strategic, evidence-based, and effective in order to achieve the desired future forest condition. So Lawin has 4 modules. Module 1 presents the various components of the Forest Conservation Area Plan and provides a guide for Lawin implementers. Module 2 describes how to plan, implement, and evaluate forest patrols to support the achievement of forest conservation objectives and targets. So Module 3, data management, encompasses the guide in uploading, syncing, and analysis of patrol data and reports collected in the field. Lastly is the Module 4, which is the response, refers to the protocols for responding to observed threats during and after patrols, and process how response protocols were developed. So this is just an overview of the Lawin system, the server view and the desktop view. This is the Smart Mobile overview. So what are the necessary data sets needed and recorded in the Lawin system? First, we have the forest condition. This covers the ecological status of the forest area based on field observations collected during the patrol. It also describes the current physical and ecological state of the forest during observation. Second is the indicator species, where these organisms whose presence, absence, or abundance reflects a specific environmental condition which can signal a biological condition of an ecosystem and thus may be a proxy diagnose of or an indicator of an healthy ecosystem. Lastly, we also record threats which can be through natural or anthropogenic activities, such as typhoons, landslides, earthquakes, or other natural phenomena. Human activities or processes that have caused, such as human destructions, and for example, charcoal production, cutting of trees, etc. So for the milestones and successes, to safeguard the ecosystem services, effective protection of the country's remaining natural forests is an urgent priority. So the Lawin implementation covers 17 regions with established 165 forest conservation areas, which are patrolled and protected by 3,645 forest patrollers with more than 200 data managers. And as of the date, we have patrolled more than 1.4 million kilometers. So this is just a trend of the total threats observed throughout the implementation of Lawin from 2018 to 2025. So this trend may signify that through strengthened monitoring using Lawin, our forest protection showed effectiveness in decreasing the number of threats in the forest land. So however, despite the overall decline in the observed threats, the top 5 threats to our forest land remain significant, such as the annual perennial farming, which ranked as number 1, followed by cutting of trees, then typhoon, next is hot and house, then last is the landslide and mudslide. So these persistent threats highlight the continuing need for strengthened forest protection, land use regulation, and disaster resilient management strategies. So beyond patrol distance, forest protection data provides deeper insights into the effectiveness of our conservation efforts. So by analyzing trends in threats, regeneration, and indicator species, we can better assess forest condition, ecosystem services, and the well-being of communities that depend on them. So this infographic shows that forest patrols are not only about measuring actions taken, but also about understanding their long-term impact on forest and biodiversity protection. So another milestone is the development of SMART demonstration through its evolution as a monitoring tool. So initially, we utilized SMART 3 in 2018 for managing data and was later upgraded to SMART 6.2.3 in 2019, and now we are using the SMART 7.5.6 which was upgraded in 2024 with advanced digital solutions in order to effectively gather, monitor, and report patrol data. So the following slides will cover some of the applications of SMART. So first is the application of SMART in tamarack conservation in the protected area of Mount Iglit Baco Natural Park. um, authored by Sir Del Mundo. I believe he is here po at ayan, sir. Favorite example po ay yung paggamit po ng smart sa Mount Iglit. Another application is through the presence or observation of hut or house and other infrastructures in our PAs and forest lands. Other examples include other threats which are observed inside protected areas, wherein these protected areas, the threats observed in these protected areas should be properly reported to our FMB or the Protected Area Management Board to ensure that post-patrolling activities are properly conducted and the concerned stakeholders are well informed. So another example is annual perennial farming. Ayan, observation, again on protected areas. Last is the apprehension of 34 pieces of mangrove species, which is also observed inside a protected area. So through this application of SMART, through the conduct of Lawin, has been very beneficial in analyzing various threats to our forest lands as well as the protected areas. As of now, since we have the updated land cover map 2025 from NAMRIA of the Philippines, we are currently in the process of consolidating and analyzing the results of Lawin from its implementation in 2018. So we proceed now with the best practices. So here are some of the best practices we have covered with the implementation of Lawin. First is the regular capacity building and refresher trainings for field personnel and data managers. Second, conduct of systematic and regular patrol operations. Third, we have also timely data encoding, uploading, and validation in the smart system since our data managers are required to submit reports in the Forest Management Bureau monthly through the syncing of their patrol data in the smart system. Another best practice is the effective use of our smart application suite of tools, which are the smartphone, the desktop, and the Smart Connect. Next is we have a strong coordination between field staff and data managers. Next, we have immediate implementation of law enforcement activities in response to threats. So, our patrollers, when they have observed a threat during patrolling, if the threat is not, ano ba yun? It's not threat to their lives, they immediately have an action taken to that threat. So, then if the threats are need post-patrol, they still have to report it to the office and conduct further investigations to that observed threats. Next is we have an active collaboration with DNR offices, LGUs, and local stakeholders. Next is organized monitoring and feedback mechanism. We are also have a best practice on the implementation of IEC campaigns. So for the gaps and challenges, we have only identified a few with the system gaps and challenges. First is the incompatibility between Smart Mobile, Connect, and Desktop. For example, Smart Mobile is currently available on the Play Store, which has a difficulty logging in and data loss upon uploading to the server. Another is difficulty logging in Smart Mobile due to several Smart Mobile automatically update, resulting to login issues and inability to export data. So we also have missing waypoints while observation details were still in the summary. So when the data is exported to GIS applications, the observations were lost, making it difficult to local activities for post-patrol responses to accurately recorded, and data managers have no access to the entities tab, resulting to incomplete documentation of actions taken. So that's another gaps and challenges with the updated Smart 7. Another is dashboard error in Smart Connect, which no longer displays an information on the dashboard. Next is errors in generating reports using Smart Connect or desktop. So the report tab fails to generate and display selected information. Another is updating of forest conservation area maps in Lawin Smart Desktop. Then we have limited server storage capacity and system downtime. And we have also outdated gadgets and hardware such as laptops, mobile phones, and lack of drones and power banks to fully utilize our patrollers, to equip our patrollers to an effective patrolling. To end this presentation, here are some updates on the Lawin system. So currently, the FMB and the Wildlife Conservation Society has discussed an upgrade with the Lawin system to Smart 8 and further enhancements of the system by exploring the Smart Cloud and additional features of the system, such as recording of observations, post-patrol activities, and the up of the dashboard. So as an additional information, we also have the newly signed project with JICA, the Enhancing Forest Monitoring Capacity for Sustainable Management and Conservation of Forests. So the project has a duration of 4 years with an overall goal to develop and operationalize a near real-time forest disturbance alert system to strengthen forest management and conservation efforts. So this system would like to develop a forest disturbance alert system. So basically, this will also be linked to the Lawin system. And the project sites will cover the Upper Magat and Cagayan River Basin and the Pampanga River Basin. So right now, we are currently into connecting all the systems we have now with the Bureau for a unified data analysis. So that's it for the Lawin system.
Okay, thank you, Marjorie.